So I welcome you all again for the PLM session, and related to the syllabus overall you just know about what is PLM exactly, how it is applicable. In general, if you understand the concept of all the modules also, you will be able to answer the questions. Okay, so you should be having thorough knowledge related to what is PLM, PDM, and with respect to outside market, if the sales is going on, if the profit is high, whatever the practical aspect of it, be thorough with it. So based on the objectives given, you should be able to select which is the right one. And related to the material, I have posted everything in the Google Classroom right from module 1 until module 4, what all we have covered. Even for module 5, I will be uploading the PPT material later and the Zoom class link of the YouTube channel as well. So if any doubts, because now currently you are not accessible to the textbooks, I am just asking you to refer the materials which are shared in the Google Classroom. So that will be helpful for you all to get yourself prepared for internals also, as well as for the quiz. So this is the internal quiz, what we call it about, not the actual physical internals what we were conducting. Because the third or the final year students will be having less time when the college reopens, so we cannot delay you much more and asking you to write all the three internals. Hopefully you might be asked to write one internals physically, but since we have to show three internals, so these are not called as internals, these are only internal quizzes what we are conducting. So later the decision will be taken by the VTU and the principal sir how it will be considered for your final IA marks. So please take the effort, prepare well and write your internal quiz with equal importance how you are doing for your internal examinations. So that is what I wanted to inform from my end before you people start for the quizzes. So everyone, can you please write your name and USN in the chat room once you log in. I will in between take the screenshot of the attendance proof through my monitor here in the Zoom class. So I'll be starting up with the remaining part of our module related to product building and structures. So in the last class what we were dealing about, so it was mainly related to what do you mean by product structures, product matrix, right? And also we understood the process modeling related with respect to the product structure matrix, and we dealt about what do you mean by data modeling, what are its goals, advantages, and also we spoke about product configuration as well. And also we spoke about material master data. So this was the last slide what we covered in our previous class, right? So it is a database which covers the entire material information. So how it functions, entire thing was been explained to you all. So once you know about the product configuration, so this product configuration helps to fine tune the configuration based on the customer requirements, and we explained all this. So once you are aware about the product configuration, the material master data, so then you should be focusing on what you mean by service master data management, because every sector in manufacturing a product should be having data management associated to it. So previous thing was related to the material aspect. Before that we dealt about the product configurations, how you fine tune, how you update the existing product as per the requirement. For that also you should be having called product configuration so database, so that you will be fine tuning it. Similarly, service also plays a vital role, right? So without a good service, it is difficult to be in market for a longer period of time, because the customers will say the product is good but the service option is very bad, so what's the use of purchasing that product, right? So even serviceability should be of a vital role which goes hand in hand when the product is in market. So even you should be having a protocol called as service master data management. So what does it do exactly? The service master data is a central repository for all the informations which are associated with the services. Okay, so if you purchase an product, so with the help of the service master data management, you can track, or once the product has been purchased, so the product could be purchased, it could be contracted, it could be rented or leased. So based on the type you are doing, if you are purchasing, you are the owner for that particular product, right? So even that database will be there. If it has been contracted, to whom it is contracted, that also will be entered. If the product is rented, even that will be entered in the master data management. Similarly, if the product is leased, even that will be stored in the product master data management. It is similar to that of VTU respiratory, which stores all your projects. It's just a database which has the entire information related to a single product. It is procured by whom, it is contracted to whom, and it is rented to whom, or it is leased to whom. So that if anything goes wrong with respect to a particular product, they'll be knowing the entire information, with whom it is, how to tackle, and anything. And sometimes during the accident also, so they'll be having exact information related to it. So it will plays a vital role in many aspects. Okay, so this is the beginning of service master data management. So here, as a single point of information, it also contains various descriptions related to service data elements like classifications, description, location, frequency, and condition. So what do you mean by it? For a single product, they'll be having n number of service stations. So with respect to different functional requirements, you might be having different sectors of service sections for a single product. Sometimes they might be having all in one together in a single service center. It also depends upon which type of the product is. If a product is multifunctional, and if the serviceability has to be fine tuned with the trained skilled people, so then they might be having different service sectors with respect to different applications, functional applications what the product is associated to. Okay, so it also describes, and you might be having this type of service sectors at different locations. So it will be having the database which all the service stations available for that particular product of that particular company in which area. And also it also stores the database related to the frequency, the number of services taken for the products of that particular company, how many times, how successfully it is being done, was it in, there was any difficulties, was any problems unsolved, what about the condition of serviceability, is it very good, bad, worst. So everything related to the service aspects will also be recorded in our service master data management. So the first one is just like in respiratory. The second objective of service master data management is to keep the record with respect to all the things what I described you right now. And next is accurate and reliable service database. Okay, so it also helps in keeping very accurate informations and reliable information. So it won't keep any records which is of not fair. Okay, so sometimes there'll be some lacuna, some drawbacks, so all those things will not be associated. Only the good accurate information will be recorded, and the reliable services, all the service sectors should be reliable. If they are not reliable, then people won't go for the service sectors at all, right? So even that has to be taken care. So when you refer to any data management softwares in product data management, all will be based on accurate and precise values, so you can rely on them 100% without any negative thought in mind. It is not only service master data management, anything for the case, material master data, product configuration, process data model, all the data associated packages in product data technology will be based on accurate and reliable services. Okay, so it will be 100% useful and pakka without any negative aspects associated too. Next is service data is important for consistent and accurate visibility with an ERP system. So within any ERP system, these data plays a vital role to achieve consistency and accurate visibility of what data is associated. So if a person wants, if he has purchased a new product and he is unaware of that company and service stations, so if he logins to service master data management, he will get the important information which are consistent related to that services and which are accurate. So it will be invisibility for the person in human as a layman. So that plays a vital role. And the last part is automated solutions offers services classification as per UNSPSC taxonomy. So there is a taxonomy which is being uniformly declared for the services related to automated parts. So it offers service classifications as per the norms of the taxonomy which is given. Okay, so everything takes place with respect to the rules, norms, and regulation. So the services here which has been classified under service master data management is as per the taxonomy which is governed based on the master data governance. So master data also master data of material. So based on the material master data governance, so taxonomy rules are being framed, and based on those rules the classification, the description, the location, the frequency, and the conditions associated to service master data management is associated, and hence you will always can assure you will get accurate, consistent, and reliable service data. So blindly you can close your eyes and rely on the data related to service material data management, because that amount of groundwork will be done while extracting the data to that particular management system. So this is about service master data management. And the next part is this, you are all are aware of product data description. So what do you mean by product data description? So when you just look at the word product data description also, only you can be aware of, it is nothing but it provides a description about a particular product, right? So product data is all about a product which can be read, measured, and structured into an usable format. Okay, so it provides the entire description. You can just take an example of Amazon or any e-commerce online purchasing. So when you go for Amazon, yeah, Mintra, yeah, whatever the other packages is, so if you browse for some material what you have to purchase for, so usually you go for identifying the product description. How does the product looks like? What are its specifications? Okay, whether the specifications given are suitable for your requirements, and if it sounds good, then only you will opt for purchasing that product. So if you have the products in any online blogs, and if you don't have any description related to the product data, so will you be thinking to purchase that product? You will be having a mindset, right? So how we will come to know whether it is useful for us or not? There is no much information related to the product given, so how we can rely on purchasing it online? So all these negative aspects comes into the mind, and hence always a product should be beautifully descripted with respect to technical aspects, with respect to its advantages, and also the cost factors, how reliable the equipment is, what about the warranty period. So all these descriptions will help the customer to understand more in depth about what the product exactly looks like. What is its warranty period? Okay, so they'll set in mind, okay, it has a good warranty period, even the rate is reasonable. Okay, even the other requirements are matching with our needs. So, okay, let us try with this product. So then a person comes to mind saying that, okay, we'll go for. If these descriptions are not there, then it is very difficult for the person to purchase any product in online. So this is all nothing but the description for product data description, why it is needed. Suppose if you want to purchase a terry cloth gloves, so blindly if they just mention terry cloth gloves and its cost, will the person will be interested in purchasing? No, because he need more description related to the product. How does it looks like, what are its materials, which type it is prepared, what are its application, what are the technical data related to the glove making, which are the dimensions in which the gloves are available. Okay, so what is the quantity you can purchase, minimum quantity, maximum quantity, if you purchase in dozen, what is the cost? So everything has to be described beautifully in the specification sheet. Then only after reviewing this, the customer then will decide whether to go up with cloth gloves or any other type of gloves which are available in the market. Okay, so this is the main intention behind to explain why the product data description is essential for any type of product. It will be mainly helpful when you are throwing the product in online related to e-commerce way of purchasing. Okay, so this is the information about product data description. And then all these data management, everything is related to product data technology only. So one of the students were claiming that they need some information related to product data technology separately. So this is in line with the product process and product data technology, which is there in the syllabus. So product process planning is done already, and data modeling, the data management related to all these stuffs are also associated in one or the other way for product data description. But still, let us focus on product data description separately. Hopefully that will be helpful for your syllabus point of view also. So yeah, so after product data description, so we will just come to about the word, what do you mean by product data technology? So product data technology plays an important role for enabling the technology to the process what every organization take place to perform any engineering work. Okay, so in this way it will be helpful, enabling the technology aspect for the process which is essential to manufacture any particular product. It is not like specific for one engineering product a company or an organization is doing. Okay, so PDM you are aware about. What is product data management? It is associating the process of the engineering aspect in organization only related to managing the data components of the process, but it is not helping you or enabling you to embed technology to the process. It is just managing the management of product data, product documentation, product structure, parts and components. It is not assisting the process technically. So in order to abide for assisting the process technically, you need product data technology. Okay, so why there is need for product data technology will come into. So this product data management is now gradually extended with functionality for management of the process, programs and projects also. Previously it was only associated with the management of the data associated of a particular product. So due to the requirements, so making it enabled technically, it is now trying to extend its functionality, means PDM functionality for managing the process, the program and the projects on the whole. Okay, so the process management capabilities of PDM are limited to support, but still, even though these are being embedded, the capabilities of PDM systems are still limited to support the repetitive procedures like document approval and change orders. It is possible to manage the documentation, the process, the program, but sudden decision while taking document approval for particular change or any change of order which comes during the process which has been ongoing. So these PDM systems are not able to take these decisions because it is mainly focused on managing. First, it was just focused on managing the data. To overcome these problems, they tried to manage the entire process, programs, and project also. But the approval part cannot be taken by the PDM system in any process. Or any change if come across, the change orders could not be taken either in process, program, or project management. So these were the lacuna or the drawback of the PDM systems. even after embedding these options to it. So this is a thing which is lacking. So what is lacking in most of the PDM system is support for the value adding and often informal process that are typical in early product engineering stages. So these document approval, change of order usually come across in new product development in the early stage of design, material selection, prototyping, all those parts. And hence, to overcome this lacuna and drawback, product data technology is very much needed. So first I told you what do you mean by product data technology. So why it has been originated due to the drawback associated with the product data management. So how it will work? So you need to have a workflow for the product data such that it will be active throughout the entire process related to technology, and hence it will be associated with the workflow strategy of each process in manufacturing a product, and hence it could be called as a workflow or product data technology. So what does this do? It is an alternative solution that would possibly provide process management support for product engineering. So it is speaking here technically. Product engineering is a technical part of manufacturing. So it provides the support for the entire process. So workflow technology actually originated from business process reengineering initiatives and has proven applications in office process automation. It has helped in order to abide to the technologies for all the process of a product during the time of re-engineering also, and even it has helped technically in many offices for automating the entire process. So it helps in re-engineering for the entire process, and it also helps in automation for the entire process. That shows it is helping the product technically with respect to re-engineering concept and with respect to automation. But still there is a limitation of workflow technology, that it offers only limited capabilities for iteration and working with candidate solutions. So you cannot check this keeping on repeating for n number of iterations for the same process. So it has limited capabilities. You can do the trial of iterations 1, 2, 3, I think minimum, maximum 5, not more than that. If you want to try for different iterations, then it is limited because it will be having its own range of iterations. So you cannot work more than that. So this is one of the problem associated with the technology aspect, how it associates with the process of any product. So the product data technology or the workflow technology is associated with certain properties which will help to abide the process technically. So what are those? Transformation of data, complex interdependencies, many parallel process, frequent process changes, iteration and alternative exploration, multiple levels of data maturity. So in all these aspects, it helps the product in line with all the process or all the stages of a particular product. First one is transformation of the data. So now when you're starting a product, you need to segregate the data. So data will be segregated as per the needs and requirements. Yeah, Narendra Kumar, you want to speak anything? Hello.
No, ma'am, it's by mistake.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll just take a screenshot of the attendance, just a second. Please, everyone, can you mute your mics, please? Everyone have written your name in the chat room. Oh, who has entered now? It is yeah. Fine. So these are the workflow technologies. So when the product has to be started, it has to be started based on the data. Data will be collected based on the needs of the customers. So it now helps right from the beginning of the process, transforming of the data to segregate it as per the required fields, functions, material, vendor management, equipment needed. So it helps in transformation of the data with respect to different sections, because data is needed in every section of the process right from the initiation stage. So it helps in transforming and segregating the data as per the requirements. Next level also, it will help complex interdependencies. Every department will be dependent on one or the other way, so there will be a large amount of interdependencies. If it is in vast product manufacturing, if it is in mass production, still there will be n number of interdependencies. Mutual communication, transformation of the information, data, material, equipments, all these are essential. So it also helps in overcoming the complex interdependencies which usually come across while manufacturing and product. Sometimes many process could be done parallelly. Okay, so in that way also it helps in technological aspects. So which has to be done later, or which two process will be going to be done together, what is the time duration for it, entire time the schedule, the work schedule, the task bifurcation, the input needed for that particular task, what is the output needed for the next task which will be started two parallel after the first two parallel session, everything will be fine tuned. So it's, you can see it helps in hand technically, but the product data management will not do that. It will just manages the data, but this helps the process technically, and hence the workflow technology is essential. And sometimes in some new products when it has been manufactured, if there are frequent process changes, because they need to optimize the process, once they do a single trial they cannot know exactly which process is the best. So initially they're doing the trial versions R&D for an innovative product, so they'll be frequently changing the process, and hence this also helps in supporting the frequent process change. So they'll be having an entire layout of which type of process are available, so how you will go up with the each process in line and check the result, and if any modification, which process has to be considered next. So all these frequent process change protocol will be taken up by the workflow technology. Next is iteration and alternative exploration. Iteration, once you do a frequent process change for a new product, iterations has to be carried out to check or to identify the optimized route, right? And hence you need iterations. But you have a limitation, you cannot go for much number of iterations, only few. So along with iteration, it also helps in alternative exploration of the ideas, the thoughts and the process. So you can see in every stage it is helping the product technically, not just managing the data which was done by PDM. And it also helps at the sectors or the levels where you have data maturity at multiple levels. Okay, so it happens in cases when you're throwing the product with multiple functions, right? So every product has different stages, and maturity stage also you have where you achieve the saturation part for a particular product. Or if you're throwing 4 to 5 products with different functional aspects to an market at a same point, so all these 4 or 5 products with different functional aspect can mature at different time. at multiple levels. So you should be able to tackle what is the profit, what is the sales for that particular product in comparison to the remaining four. So they will be having much work related to evaluation of these maturity levels for different products. In that way also it will be helpful. So these are the properties associated with the product data technology which will help in assisting in the workflow of each and every process of a product technically, that you have to understand. So this is an example what you can see, right, for the workflow. So I told every new product will be virtually prototyped, simulated, then only actual manufacturing comes into picture, right? So for that, suppose if you want to do a simulation part, so there are many things which comes into the aspects. So it requires the document associated to different thing. So before simulation the design has to be done, right? So after for design has to be done, there should be some constraints what you have to provide, then only you go for design aspects. Once the design is approved, then you go for modeling part. Once the modeling and analysis is done, then you go for simulation to check how it works. But all the things are drawn down back to the document requirements. So if you need to control a design with respect to many aspects, then only you can come back with a competitive design. So what are the controller requirements? So for this question you should be having the database in hand, which are the documents associated with the controller requirements. So they need to dig with the literature survey, they need to speak with the customers, everything they have to segregate and keep it ready to decide these are the controller design aspects. So that has to be kept ready. So you'll be having n number of versions for this. Okay, so out of these versions you will then optimize and single competitive controller design. And next comes for the vehicle design. For the vehicle design, what happens, you should be knowing to design a vehicle what are its requirements. So again for the requirements you should be knowing what are the needs of the customers, what are the input given already, or if it is an existing vehicle, what are the modification asked by the customers. Everything has to be taken. So based on the vehicle requirement the vehicle will be designed, right? So once the design is approved, based on the control aspect, you have to do the mathematical modeling and do the analysis. For that, the environment requirement is what? So that aspect also has to be collected right from the document what you have segregated initially. So this is nothing but the transformation of the data all together. I told while explaining each process will be having different data, so everything has to be transformed, segregated together. Okay, that plays a vital role. If this groundwork is not done properly, then entire all other process will be ruined. So this plays a vital role. So again, based on the environmental requirement with respect to the design concepts and the controlling aspects, the modeling part will be done with a suitable environment and it will be analyzed, and then it will be taken to the simulation part to